Welcome back. It's been a while since I brought a guest on to chat with you. But today I'm super excited to share my conversation with Justin Mihaly. He's an online nutrition coach and the founder of ECA, Elite Coaching Academy, where he mentors other online coaches. Whether you're a coach or not, if you're a business owner, this episode is value packed. We talk about pricing, offer tiers, content creation, and we try and settle the debate between paid in fulls versus monthly recurring revenue. And without further ado, let's just hop straight into the episode. Justin, thanks for coming on.
Yeah, dude, fired up to be here. I think we're going to have a very valuable conversation.
Yeah, I'm excited. So this all came about. You posted a reel, probably a controversial one, if I had to guess. And you basically were like, paid in fulls are so much better than monthly recurring revenue, unless you suck at leads and sales. And it got my attention. It looked like it got the attention of quite a few people. I won't lie, I love recurring revenue, right? I'm a finance guy. And so the stability of it and the predictability for me is awesome. But I also know as a finance guy that cash in hand is better than future anticipated cash. But the biggest issue is like, do you manage it accordingly, right? And so I'm open to you changing my mind and convincing me, not that I'm like super far on like the monthly recurring revenue is the best and everything, but I want to dive into it and have so much fun talking about it. So like first question for you is like, what is the ideal model for fitness coaches to be charging? Like, what is the best one out there?
So it's going to depend on how good you are. It's going to depend on, if you don't have a skill set, then don't be charging people $10,000 for 6 months if you can't fix any issues. So the first thing that we do with the operators who come in ECA is we do this really cool exercise where we take down the problems that you want to solve and understand through this exercise, like they're uncovering that as we go. So I'm not sitting here like, Justin, what problem do you want to solve? Like, we're bringing it to the forefront of your mind. Like, oh, I didn't realize these are the problems that my community is already viewing me as someone who solves. So we take these problems and then we're going to find what are you pro and what are you firmly against. Example, I'm pro about 70% of your payments being paid in fulls. I'm against 70% being MRR. And obviously we're going to dive into that. On the physiology side, I'm pro a positive omega-3 to omega-6 fatty acid profile. I'm anti a diet that has 30% of its fats coming from seed oils. I'm pretty straightforward. I'm pro metabolic health, anti-statins, right? Everything I'm pro and against, you can go to my page, and I think you've probably seen this on my page. Oh, it is very clear. There's no gray area that I leave in what I stand for, right? So we break this down. And now we know what are you pro and against. And then from there, it's like the ideal client, whose story are you the hero of, whose story are you the villain in? And from there, we get to go into who your ideal client is, what they're experiencing, so on and so forth. So Justin, if you come to me and you're like, hey, Justin, I want to optimize my testosterone and lose 2 inches off my waist. That's not a big problem. You can go to YouTube and figure out how to do that. But if you come to me and say, hey, I've got early onset rheumatoid arthritis, I need help with this, my team can handle that, and that's a gigantic issue, right? So what problem are you solving? Then we have to charge based off that problem. For sake of the conversation, we won't dive too much into bodybuilding, which is obviously where my brand name was made. But if you're an elite bodybuilding coach, you can definitely charge very high prices, and they all charge shit prices, and I'm very anti that. Now, so let's say we solve a big problem. Because that's what ECA is about, teaching you how to solve big problems. A great coach who has a plenty of leads, $800, $1,000 a month. And some people here are like, whoa, for online coaching, like that's a scam. If I'm fixing your fucking Hashimoto's, that is not a scam. You've been going to doctors for 10 years for this, and then we're going to fix it in 6 months. Now, if you don't have a shit ton of leads, a $500 a month average is pretty nice. So on a 6 month PIF, that's $3,000. So
I was about to say, you're giving me monthly pricing, but
yeah. So we want the average out for the month for the whole 6 months. We teach everything in 6 months. I don't do a lot of like 1 year upfront payments. There's a reason for that. Just a quick dive in. you don't really know if that person needs you for a year, if you want them for a year, if they want you for a year. And I've very much so been in situations where it's like, damn, I'm in line with this person, not really doing a whole lot anymore. And now you kind of get into this bullshit phase. Mm-hmm. Like you're changing things to change things. And that's not great service. So we do everything in a 6-month time frame. Now, for my one-to-one coaching on my team, we have 3 tiers. It's 7, 6, or 5. Now we handle a lot of shit in there. We have a whole medical team. So like you kind of don't really need your doctor if you come with us. We have doctors on staff. That is a very luxe. Sir, that's a high price. That's a high ticket item. So what are you going to offer? And then we have to price it appropriately. Maybe for the sake of this conversation, can we set a $5,000 for 6-month deal? That's kind of where we're going to work from.
Yeah. Would that be an average? Would that be an average fee for a coach that's coming into ECA?
Yeah.
Is that fair?
Okay, cool.
We
teach people how to crank $5,000. But then, so the offer ladder, which is really the nuts and bolts of your question. Well, the offer ladder starts with your content first. We have a 5-tier offer ladder. Content first. If I'm talking to 19-year-olds, I probably can't charge $5,000 for 6 months. Okay. If I'm talking to Justin Green, I can charge that. Well, clearly my content's working because you follow me, you and I interact in my content, and I'm talking to you on a podcast right now. Right?
Yeah.
So content 1. Now we have free opt-in lead magnets that are, the way we do lead magnets is pretty extreme. Like I'm going to solve your whole issue in this lead magnet. This lead magnet is going to be 20, 30 pages. It's going to have a 10-minute Loom video covering everything. And if you go through this, you're going to go up on the other side with your problem solved. Now, why this is genius is you just educated your potential client on the entire process you're going to take them through. But Justin, you and I both know, you've never gone through a 30-page lead magnet, neither have I. You're just not going to make it. And you're not going to apply all that stuff unless there's accountability. So now we nurture them through our sales pipeline. And to really, I view this point of the sales and marketing pipeline like they're together. I've now merged information marketing with I'm selling you on how good I am and how I'm going to fix this issue. Now we're kind of together. So now we have.
Real quick, pause.
Go ahead.
So basically, I want to make sure I'm understanding that correctly, and I think I am, but I want to rephrase it. So you're selling them before they actually get on a sales call, right? So like your marketing is like you're hitting objections. You're probably giving them the pricing. I don't know. Maybe are you giving them pricing up front? No. Okay.
No.
But you're hitting like objections. Like you're framing this and getting them as sold as possible before they ever like have to get on a call with a setter or a salesperson or whatever.
I'm so glad you asked that. When you get a prospect on a call and they're shaking their head like this before the call, they're going to buy.
They're in.
Now, we do like 88% of our sales are from organic traffic. We run ads, but our ad show rate is like 56%, whereas our organic show rate's like everyone shows. So building strong organic's powerful. Now, when you have cold audience, which is an ad, a colder audience, they're getting on the phone call, like maybe like kind of shaking their head, but they're definitely not nodding the shit out of their head, right? So it's much harder to sell that. So to your point, yeah, we're handling a lot of the sales process before they get on the call. And I think content is sales. I think people view content as marketing. I view content as sales. And that's how we teach inside of ECA. Now, we now have 3 offers that someone through this pipeline, this is now the revenue pipeline, marketing sales coming together. I call it the revenue pipeline. We have 3 offers we can present you on the phone. So if this is for one-to-one coaching, this is 7, 6, or 5. We have downsells that the closers know they can work to. But obviously, when you take price down, we have to take features down. The reality is, at the end of the day, I want you to feel your all-time best at the end of 6 months, and don't ever sell somebody something they don't need. So we have low ticket, mid ticket, high ticket. We don't. We teach that. We used to do low ticket stuff. We're very fortunate we don't have to do that anymore. Your low ticket, this is something that's like very community based, and they don't get a lot. Mm-hmm. Low ticket shouldn't really get any of the one-to-one time from the operator, but the build out stuff to be good enough to solve a problem. If that's the only place somebody can come in at, our goal is to get them feeling better so we can now get them into a mid-ticket. Now they get
Can we
some one-to-one
define
time.
low ticket? So if we're using that average client scenario from earlier, I think we said 500 a month.
Yeah, I would say that's mid-ticket. I would say low ticket, you're looking like under 300.
Okay, gotcha.
So the mid-ticket, now we go to 500. That's a
And
little
low
bit of
ticket, are
one-to-one.
you selling it as a PIF too, or monthly?
No, great question. A low ticket being sold as a PIF, like if we have to work somebody down to that, they probably don't have the cash on hand, and we never want to put someone in a financial bind.
Yeah, no, that's super important.
So this is we teach this 200, 250 monthly.
Okay.
Right. But it's bigger than the lead magnet because we have accountability because we're bringing them into a community of other people who are achieving where they can ask questions to the community. Right.
Yeah, that makes sense. Quick question on the lead magnet too. Sorry to backtrack since you brought that up.
No, this is perfect.
You mentioned a loom. Is that a personal loom or just like a general loom that gets sent to all the people who download it?
Yeah, general loom.
Okay, cool.
Gotcha. But we have something coming that can kind of make it a more personal loom or make it feel like
the only reason I asked is because the loom, obviously, like some people think of that as like a one-to-one async like communication. So I just wanted to clarify that. So, all right, sorry. So low ticket would be like 2 to 250, but like let's move to mid ticket.
Yeah. And the low ticket, you're asking great questions because the low ticket, we're going to have like some coaching courses available for these people to work through so they understand why we're doing what we're doing and why these metrics matter. Right.
So actually, since we'll dive into that a little bit more. So is a lot of this course / content based, or is a lot of it like group call based? Or I'm sure both. It's a mix, but would like percentage wise, would you say like?
Well, I can give you numbers. I mean, inside of ECA and our Jumpstart community, that's our low ticket one in ECA. So this is where we train online coaches to build their skill set and scale their brand.
So it's more B2B than B2C.
Yeah. So in our B2B, in the Jumpstart, we have 82 modules, so courses.
Oh, wow.
And then they get access to 6 live calls per week.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Oh, dude, we have so many live calls.
All right. So that's probably like, that's really high service, really high level. That's B2B. So like you kind of have to bring it a little bit more for your coaches. I was gonna say, what are you teaching like your coaches to bring to their B2C?
Yeah. There's a 30-minute live call every single day. I have 7 coaches on the EFH staff. So there's a 30-minute live call every day. Now, I just took over an operator, big time bodybuilding guy. He has $50,000 a month in revenue. He himself is doing 5 calls per week, 1-hour calls there. He's doing something very unique. You can show up to the call and get your check-in feedback live from him, like in a group setting. And a lot of people do that. That is amazing. Now, he doesn't make everyone do it. If you don't show up to a live call and get your check-in feedback there, you still get check-in feedback, like one-to-one. But people love that. If I'm giving you your check-in feedback right now, Justin, just like you're asking me these great questions in the podcast, you can ask me these great questions on a one-to-one call with other people watching who have the exact same questions. That's powerful.
Yep.
I think if we're doing the future of online fitness coaching, Justin, is 100%, more than 100%, if that's even possible to exist, it is community-driven and community-based. And so if we can drive this community to be highly
Wait, do you mean AI is going to like replace the content side of things?
No.
You don't think so?
I think the opposite, but I'm a little bit more of a boomer in my approach with AI. When I see AI driven content, I hate it. I hate it.
Yeah, but would you? You're welcome to disagree. Would you agree that like AI is going to automate some of the content side so the community become, like you said, the future of coaching is community based? Like, is that why like you think community is more valuable moving forward than it has been in the past?
Yes, and because the attention spent on short form media is dropping. So we need to get people from short form media into a community based setting. Like I do kind of view my YouTube as a community. Like one YouTube subscriber is worth way more than an Instagram follower and is worth way more than a TikTok follower.
I just started diving into long form YouTube and it's not great. Like, let's just be honest.
Really?
But I just mean like I haven't like picked up a lot of traction yet. But the point I'm going to make is like 100 views on a long form video feels so much more valuable and I don't have anything to back that up yet. Like I don't have any sales, like I don't have no money behind that to back that up yet. It just feels so much more rewarding and valuable than when I go and get my 200 views on a 60-second video.
Dude, I have numbers to back this up. When Grow or Die podcast was at its peak, we only had 5,000 subscribers, but we were doing over 1 million views a month. And I had $30,000 in brand deals for the 1 million views a month because my watch time was insane. We only had 5,000 subs and I made $30K on 5,000 subs.
This was a YouTube-based podcast?
That was the YouTube-based podcast. And we got pulled down, unfortunately. We just relaunched. They took all my subs. They took all the videos off, whatever. But, to your point, 100 views on Instagram is the cost of 10,000, or 100 views on YouTube's cost of 10,000 on Instagram. I feel so strongly about that.
Yeah, no, I agree. I'm like I said, I'm just starting out, but it's
and
like
also, Justin, think about this: when people are scrolling, even my short form content, your short form content, you're in scrolling mode. You're not in buy or learn mode.
Yeah.
If you're on 100%. YouTube watching an hour-long podcast, you're already on a platform where you can click this little button right there below, a hyperlink in the description that drives to your community. And you're on the hour-long podcast to learn something, to take something away from it. That is so much more valuable than I'm in the dopamine cycle right now.
100%.
So, I mean, I just did a speech in Dallas last week where I told everyone, I told y'all 2 years ago, start podcasts, start posting them on YouTube. How many people did it? There's like 3 people out of 80 people that raised their hand. And I'm like, all 3 people that raised their hand are people who were in the higher earning bracket and in the crowd in that seminar. So they get the numbers. I've never made $1 off of Instagram, like promo or ads or anyone who wanted to partner with me there. And I have things that have millions and millions of views.
Yeah,
but
that makes sense.
On YouTube, it's just 1 million views a month, maybe 30K.
No, that makes sense.
Just under 30K.
I might want to circle back to this. I think this is a fun conversation. I want to get back to the tiered system so we don't get too far off track.
Yeah.
But I think we'll circle back to this after that if you're cool.
Yeah, perfect.
Cool.
So,
all right, so let's go mid-tier. Yep.
Yeah. Mid-tier, we start getting some one-to-one. Okay. So in the mid-tier, let's say every check-in gets a voice memo response. And clients get 4 one-to-one calls with the coach that they can use at any time. 30-minute one-to-one Zoom. And in the 6 month.
Okay.
Yeah. Now we go to the high ticket and also in the mid-tier, like this is more like one-to-one protocoling. And the low ticket, we're not going to do like one-to-one protocoling. So we're going to make you all of your protocols for whatever issue you have. Okay. Now the high ticket, we're going to do Loom video responses to everybody. Weekly. You can get a monthly one-to-one Zoom call. Sorry, I lied. I said 30 minutes. The 30-minute monthly Zoom call is for high ticket. The mid ticket is 15 minutes for 4 Zoom calls, say in 6 months.
Okay, gotcha.
So in the high ticket, more one-to-one, Loom video responses, face, share screen, protocol, see the game plan. We do the VIP retreats and whatnot. So let's see, we're planning a retreat right now for ECA in February in Austin. So all of our elite and DFY people, they're all going to be able to come be part of that for free. They get first dibs on everything. And obviously that's the fastest track to progression because there's simply more touch points. Now, for fitness coaching, we do everything in bi-weekly check-in format. And this has sort of disrupted the industry because it's been so normal to just do weekly check-ins. But like, Justin, if you're trying to optimize testosterone and lose a couple inches off your waist, there's no reason for us to touch base weekly. And now back to I'm at month 9 with this client. We have 3 months to go on a 12-month. There's not really a lot to do. So now you kind of start bullshitting stuff. Mm-hmm. Like, and you buffer that by just having the group calls where people can show up, at any time. Right. So the high ticket, that's the highest touch point. And in the high ticket, you offer a 100% money back guarantee. If you hit all of your KPIs, and this is super easy to track for our operators, we have a dashboard that we created that literally attaches to your tech and updates every day with the steps you've hit, with your HRV, with your blood glucose, with all of the variables. So we know if you're hitting your protocols, but also this gives you extreme incentives to hit your protocols also. because it's all being
Because this is
tracked.
kind of like if you do what you're supposed to do and it doesn't work, then you'll get like if
Yeah,
you just don't do your shit, like I'm not giving you your money back.
exactly.
Yeah.
And we've done that for 6 or 7 years, and we've never had to give anybody their money back because people come in and do their job and they get fixed, right? So that's a great sell point to the high ticket, but we only offer that to the high ticket because high ticket is high buy-in. And then some people will be like, well, not everyone can afford that. And dude, I understand that's why we do these all for tiers.
Mm-hmm.
But also, if it's high risk, high reward, how do we make this high risk? I mean, I'm spending a lot of money up front, and the reward, high reward, the high risk, I'm spending a lot of money. How do we pull the risk down?
Right. Guarantee.
Well, guarantees. I think fitness coaches should offer guarantees. If you're good at your stuff, then you'll fix the problem. So that's kind of our offer ladder that we run things through.
So, all right. So then let's dive into the paid in full. So you said 6 months, which I really like this. This is, honestly, in my business, I fire more clients than they fire me. Because like if you're just not responsive or you're not doing anything, I'm like, hey, as a finance guy, it's like I see it hurting yourself if you're like paying me and not getting anything, right? So like I think the 6 month makes a lot of sense because to your point, like maybe you don't like working with them, maybe they don't like working with you, maybe a year's too long, maybe they hit their goal of 6 months. So I actually think that makes a lot of sense. So are you doing paid in full for the first 6 months and then renewing with a paid in full at 6 months? When
Great
are you
question.
doing monthly recurring revenue? Because I know you did say it's not 100% all paid in full.
Yep.
Like when is that making sense? Is that just the low ticket?
Yes, that's when our MRR comes in. Our MRR comes in after the 6 months. We don't re-sign anybody up on a PIF.
You don't?
We don't sign anybody. We never renew on a PIF. This could be a blessed position because we do have a lot of leads, but we keep you in the community. I mean, we've made our community so hyperactive, hyper addicting, and honestly, just a very hyper conducive place to be that people don't really leave. We don't see this drop off. There's not a lot of churn. Our churn, we have over 500 people inside of between ECA and EFH, and our churn is under 5%. And now we used to have a churn problem. We grew way too fast. And I didn't have a system in place for that. I didn't expect to grow that fast. And our churn was up 12. It was at 12% back in June. Well, you bring client success people in, you have more touch points with everybody, so on and so forth. So that's where this whole model's come about of, hey, you got calls you can hop on every single day to learn something, to get one-on-one time. You have a ladder that shows you in our client dashboard where you're at and where you're going. You know what comes next. And that's, it was a large investment up front, but like it's greatly eliminated churn. So our current MRR is $89,972. So the first of the month, we go $89,972.
That's on the ECA side or the...
That's all both combined.
Okay, gotcha.
So I'm not sure I can segment it very quickly.
Gotcha.
I would imagine... So ECA goes into an $800 a month to stay in. EFH goes to a $400 a month to stay in. And that's probably about what the split is, about 66% ECA.
Okay, gotcha.
So every month, my employee salary payout that I do is just under 100K. So
you
MRR,
anticipated my next question. I was going to ask you how much of like your monthly fixed expenses does that like cover? Like,
about 90%. Which
smart.
is amazing because, well, you go into a month and like you get 2 signups and everything's good to go. Like everything's fine, right?
Yeah.
So you as a finance person might not love that.
No, actually, no. I coming into this conversation, I like that more than I like. You're covering, so I think it makes sense because, well, one, you're not all paid in fulls, right? Like as we dive deeper into this, it's like we kind of deconstruct this a little bit, and I understand marketing a little bit. It's a little bit makes more sense to hit it more abrasive with the 60-second reel. But that's why I was excited to chat with you and learn more, and let people learn from you. And so I think it makes sense because if you're covering most of your baseline expenses, then the paid in fulls are like, they're gravy on top of that, right? But you're still not waking up with this fear on the first of the month, every single month of like, well, shit, because I've talked to a lot of coaches who burnt out, quit, failed, scaled back, whatever it was, because They built businesses based off paid in fulls, but they had no monthly recurring revenue base. So when that first of the month hit, they knew they were going to owe coaches X amount, or they had all these fixed expenses, whether a lot of time is mentors, etc. And they didn't know where their next dollar was coming from on the first of the month. So it was like you had to hammer it. And if they had one bad month, which, summers would always dip a little bit, things changed about a year or two ago in the market, right? Like, I don't know, maybe you experienced that, but a lot of coaches I talked to, around like, 22, 23, maybe 24, when it finally caught up to them, like it dipped a little bit and things just changed. Marketing on Instagram became harder and stuff like that. So leads slowed down. And I talked to a lot of coaches who had to really scale back and like go backwards because they built this model 100% or like 95+% on paid in fulls, but they didn't have an emergency fund. They didn't have like a threshold amount in their business bank account. They didn't have a monthly recurring base to cover a lot of their expenses each month. Like they had none of these like safety valves that it sounds like, are being built in to allow you to push for those paid in fulls.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a very good point. I mean, I was that coach. Like I was definitely the coach. Even we had so many freaking clients when I ran Together More, when I had Team Mihaly. We had so many clients, but it's like, man, the first of the month, like we don't really have a lot of money. And oh shit, like I didn't get paid. I haven't been paid in 2 months because all the money coming in is going out. Like what is going on? And that's
it's all going
bad
out,
business.
but
It's all going out.
technically like that should have lasted you for the next 6 months.
Yep.
Yeah.
And but we were underpriced. We were making everyone who came in be able to get in. So one person might pay 200, the other person might pay 500. And it's like, dude, this is a mess. And they're all getting the same service. Like, this is horrible. And a lot of coaches do that because there's a scarcity mindset around where's the next lead coming from. But I believe in building personal brand rather than building business. And then the business branches out from personal brand. And it's not crazy hard to build personal brand. I think people hear that and they think you have to have 100,000 followers, and you have to have this, you have to have that. Like, you just have to have authority and trust in your community. And I view your community as everyone who views my content, whether you follow me or not. If you see my content, you're in my community. So now we have to make content that solves problems and content that's dialed towards your offer and the avatar that you help. And I also think there's an energy that goes back to the sales. We never sell something to somebody that they do not need. It's a terrible business practice. That energy goes into the world. It comes back to you, and it's going to keep you in this scarce, locked state of mind.
That's like one of the worst long-term things to do for a business.
It's so bad.
Like,
but all my coaches do it.
And I get it. Like early on, like anything that can fog a mirror, like you take, and it is what it is. But like long-term, if you don't have a vision to get out of that cycle, you'll get negative reviews because you can't serve them well. You'll get high churn. You'll be on this hamster wheel. And it just long-term, it does not work out. And so you have to get past that mindset. Like you really do. I've seen it hurt so many coaches you really do. You have to stop trying to serve everyone.
Yeah.
I'm curious if there's an avatar, I guess, that, because you said something earlier that made a lot of sense, and I want to highlight it again. It was like, you can't sell to the 19-year-old and think you're going to make X amount of dollars, right? Like you have to realize you need to sell to people with painful problems, but also people who can afford to pay to solve their painful problems. The executive or the corporate professional has a salary where they can pay, whereas a 19-year-old's in college and they're living off a meal plan. Exactly. So is there like an avatar that you see tends to like work best for a lot of coaches demographically?
This is an amazing question. I think this kind of gets into our content waterfall and how we do that. Our content waterfall starts with this long form content, like a podcast.
Yeah.
And from here, we break it down. Obviously, there's Instagram clips, there's TikTok clips. We share clips on LinkedIn, share some clips on X, Threads. But a transcript from every podcast can get put into our highly trained GPT, come up with talking points for us to make LinkedIn's off of, or X posts off of, Threads posts off of, yada, yada, to where every 1 hour podcast that we do, we turn into 100 pieces of content. So like
Are
that's
your
why I
podcasts guest based or just solo based?
both. But
Both.
also
Okay.
even like this podcast, like we're going to take this podcast, we're going to break down transcript, we're going to be able to train off of it, and we're going to be able to curate content off of it. So how we talk to our ideal avatar is this is a podcast I'm on with a finance guru. So I don't wear my sweats. I put on like some nice khaki shorts, and I'm in a professional podcast.
I just
And
realized we're wearing the same exact thing.
that's so
You have
funny.
khaki shorts and a black
I do.
shirt on?
I do.
Yeah, me too.
Isn't that funny? That's so funny. But we're
And we're
talking
both
to our
Justin.
avatar.
Yeah.
If I'm walking around downtown Austin with like my shirt off and I'm outside of Gold's Gym and I'm filming a piece of content, that's going to talk to people who pay $30 a month for a gym membership. And there's nothing wrong with that. But I want to talk to Lifetime Fitness. I want to talk to Equinox. I want to talk to the private gym memberships. I want to talk to those people who are already investing a lot into their health. Or I want to talk to online fitness coaches who don't just want to like have 50 clients that are paying varying price points. Like I don't want to talk to the old me. I want to talk to like the current me. Right.
Mm-hmm.
So we structure content based off this. The content waterfall is a big one to make sure that we're everywhere and not just relying on Instagram. Fun fact about LinkedIn. It's over a billion.
I just pulled up
active.
your LinkedIn because I don't talk to a lot of fitness. I mean, LinkedIn's huge for finance professionals. I
Yeah.
have so many like finance connections over there. But when you said LinkedIn, I was like, I don't see any fitness coaches over there. And I think it's a freaking huge opportunity. So please talk to me about LinkedIn from your point of view.
LinkedIn is a weapon because
it's the best social media platform out there.
By far.
Like people don't understand how LinkedIn works. Like when you could not even post a single thing on there and you could grow tremendously because your comments get seen by other people that follow the original poster. Like for growing, it's one of the best platforms out there.
And most underutilized. There's over a billion active LinkedIn users and less than 0.1% of them post on a weekly basis. So
yeah, I just saw a graph, like an infographic on that like 2 days ago. Yeah.
If you post every day on LinkedIn, you're already in the 99.9th percentile of users on LinkedIn.
Yeah.
Well, poor people aren't scrolling on LinkedIn. People that have some money or people that are on their way towards money, people that are high IQ, those are the people who are using LinkedIn. Whereas on the brain rot short form platforms, you see how many idiots there are on there. It's like, Jesus, how did my content end up in front of 20 idiots who are just like shit posting in my comments now because you can't have your mind open to a new way of thinking? That sucks. On LinkedIn, we never have that. So on LinkedIn, that's where you get the execs. That's where you get people working up. You get the C-suite level people. You get the people working the C-suite. You get people who are there to actually network and grow. Oh, and almost every C-suite person on the entire planet has some sort of something that we can probably only fix. And right now they're only going to their doctor and they're being put on shit that they shouldn't be put on. And everything's just a Band-Aid that's masking the actual root of the issue. So if I can share my sauce on there and we get a call booked from there, we know that they're going to show up to the call because these people are busy individuals and they planned this call around what works in their schedule. We know that they're going to be financially qualified and we know that they're going to be great clients. They're already driven people. How you do one thing is how you do everything. If you're living in mom's basement behind an anime account talking shit on Instagram, you're probably a loser. If you're on LinkedIn and have 5,000 connections and you're active on that, you're probably a winner. So this is pretty straightforward that everyone should be on LinkedIn. And I can't believe more people aren't on it. But I think you're going to meet your avatar where they're at. And some people are like, I want to talk to the gym bro, or the people who are in the gym all the time. I do. These people, they're trying to make it work and they just don't have the information to make it work. So go give them information that they've not yet been exposed to. If you spend a shit ton of time on LinkedIn, I doubt you spend a shit ton of time on TikTok and Instagram.
Yeah, LinkedIn, like I don't remember the stats, but I think it has the highest like income per user.
Yeah, that makes
compared
sense.
to other social media as well. I can't remember if it's income or net worth, but it's one of those. And I remember the exact numbers. The other thing about LinkedIn for anyone listening who's like, oh, I want to try that out, is like, don't be discouraged by like low engagement on LinkedIn because a lot of people lurk because it's not like it is like it's getting less professional, but it is traditionally a professional platform. So
Mhm.
you're gonna get less comments because people are like a little scared to comment, or they're kind of hiding behind a corporate like brand, and so they're not going to comment as much, or they're not going to engage as much, but they're lurking and they'll reach out to you. That's a very
Exactly.
common thing in LinkedIn. I don't know if you've experienced that or not, but it's discouraging for some people who are used to the dopamine rush of like Instagram or TikTok, where you get high views, high likes, etc. Like, you might not see those types of vanity metrics.
Mhm.
Try not to kick my phone here. You might not see those vanity metrics on LinkedIn, but you might see higher prospect lead flow.
I think it's similar to the YouTube conversation we had earlier.
Yeah.
If people are going to sit and watch long form content, or if people are going to find you on LinkedIn, the reality that they can buy your product is just way higher than people on, short form content, places like Instagram and TikTok. I think X is great. I think Threads is very similar to Instagram. I've had good success on X, but I mean, if you're talking about income per user, YouTube and LinkedIn are way above everyone else. Um,
Yeah, if you go on X, you better have some thick skin.
yeah, X can get a little tough,
Yeah.
but I find Threads way more tough on X. I love X's algorithm because it does kind of put you into um, it puts you into these like niches that you talk about. So
Mhm.
something to be super careful of is you don't want to be in a echo chamber. And so I'll intentionally interact like favorite, whatever it's called on X, posts that go against my belief system so that I can
Mm.
constantly have that in my feed as well. And there's kind of everything. Like there's going to be this guy who thinks if you eat seed oils, you're the devil. And there's going to be this person that thinks seed oils are perfectly fine, heart healthy and well. And it's like, I think having both these opinions on your X page is super beneficial. But a huge problem with social media, people are just in these echo chambers, man.
That is the one tough thing. Like, even like beliefs aside, like, I have to be careful because my Instagram gets fed all the stuff that my wife sends me, so it becomes like all kids and
Yeah.
like wife stuff. Or like my YouTube, I have to be really careful not to put Miss Rachel on my, like, not to search it on my, like, I
Yeah.
have two different YouTube accounts, one personal, that like if I accidentally search that on my business one, like my whole algorithm is gonna get jacked up.
Isn't that
And
amazing?
so I have to be so careful to not search for, call me maybe,
Yep.
or, Miss Rachel for my daughter on that YouTube, because it'll just completely blow up the algorithm.
Those algorithms are amazing, but they're designed to keep you entrapped and on that site. And it's like,
Yeah.
something that I chat about with men very commonly. I've said this so many times. I've posted content on this. Go to your explore page, and that tells me the direction you're headed. This is for Instagram.
Hmm.
I don't know if others have explore pages. On Instagram, show me your explore page, and I'll show you the direction that you're headed. And you can change it very quickly. But my God, if you go down one rabbit hole, then it just changes everything, pulls you out of your expertise or what you're trying to grow in, and it sends you down this dopamine brain rot path that's just so dangerous.
Yeah, no, for sure. I want to pivot back to money, really. And I'm curious, in ECA, with the coaches that work with you, do you have like a profit target, like a percentage, like margins that you encourage them to pursue?
Yeah. So the coaches don't handle any sales themselves. My coaches get paid per client. They get paid, I believe it's
Sorry,
200.
I mean, like, so ECA, I'm understanding correctly. You have
Yeah.
fitness coaches learning from you. I'm talking
Yeah.
about them and their
Sorry.
business.
Got it.
Yeah.
Understood. I think if you're a personal brand based business, your profit margins need to be over 50.
Hmm.
Um, and I think if you're smaller, like if you're under 40K a month, like I don't really know how you would have the team and fulfillment to be under 60.
Yeah. See, this
Um,
is awesome. This is going to be fun because I agree with you. I 100%. Like, I think if you're growing a team, like, you need to understand your profit margins are going to slip, but you're
yeah.
getting a smaller chunk of a bigger pie, right? Like, that's the name of the game, right? You're going from a small pizza to a large pizza, but you're just
Mhm.
getting 7/8 of it compared to the whole small pizza.
Yep.
And I think too many people focus on revenue over profit in
Mhm.
the online fitness space.
Yeah, revenue
And
doesn't matter at all. If we're doing
it drives me
400K a month and I'm spending $380,000 a month, then you got to pay taxes on your personal profit out of that. And it's like, oh, you're not really like making that much money.
100%. Yeah. I mean, you're going to pay probably 30% plus in taxes,
Yep.
especially if you're not optimized with like an S Corp or whatever, because you're going to pay 15.3% self employment tax on top of your federal, your state. And a lot of coaches like to live out in California for some reason. So you can tack on a couple more.
Doesn't make any sense. Doesn't make any sense.
You can tack on some more taxes out there. But, you know, that's the reality of the situation. And so, and now granted, you only pay taxes on your profit, right? So if you only focus on revenue and you have absolutely no profit, which is another like boneheaded mistake I see of like, oh, well, I just, you know, I lowered my profit so I'd pay less tax. And I'm like, that's stupid.
That's
like, that's
not good.
dumb.
Yeah.
But, you know, I just do. I see it as a huge mistake in this business is that people only focus on revenue without understanding the underlying like profit margin behind that, because they go and hire a bunch of team. And like, I've worked with coaches who they come to me and I'm looking through and I'm like, your assistant coaches are making more than you.
Yeah.
Like that's not right. That's not okay. Like that you can't win this way.
Yeah.
You know, like fire your team now and start coaching, because I do think there were some mentors out there who started preaching this, like, be the CEO of your business. And like, yeah, that's great eventually, but at 20K months, you're the CEO, you're the coach, you're the CFO, you're everything.
You're everything.
Like, I don't know if you have a threshold when you're telling coaches, like, it's time to start bringing on some team members, but like, I've personally found, like, if you're under 20K a month, you really shouldn't have much of a team.
Yeah. So we do have thresholds. I would love to run through that. At 20K a month, that's when we start. I want to bring in a setter.
Okay.
I want to bring in somebody who's inside your DM. 20K a month, you're getting a lot of leads. There's a lot of DM conversations, but now this frees up your time to be able to post more content that drives people to the DM. Sales are done in the DMs. You cannot sell something in a comment. You cannot sell something through a piece of content. They get sold in the DMs when they're chatting with you. So the setter comes in. I do not agree with having setters act like the creator, because people are going to see the mismatch. Like, you come into my page. I'm not sure how long ago you followed me, but you would have gotten a message from my setter team, like welcoming you to the page and asking what you're interested in. When your content is dialed, which if you're doing 20K a month, your content's pretty dialed. Like, people are following you to learn more about the sauce you're sharing, right? So we're going to bring in a setter at 20K a month, 30K a month, but you're still going to handle the closing yourself. At 30K a month, now we need to start looking at fulfillment. I go internal to the team first. Who are you coaching right now that has an insane drive for fitness and wants to be a fitness coach? And they understand you, how you talk, how you operate, everything. Now we get into
recruit like a client to kind of come.
Yeah. And for my operators who go 30K a month, I'll bring the client in for free to ECA so they can have access to our case study chats, access to my director of education, Lindsay, access to director of medicine, Dr. Ian Alexander. They have access to all of our modules. We have 268 skill set modules, access to all of our masterclass, so we can make you an amazing coach. So I want someone who understands you. This is 30K a month. So now you start dialing content and selling to your coach who works underneath you. Some people think like, oh my God, nobody would buy. If nobody would buy, that means your pipeline, your content sucks. We fixed that. Now, 40K a month, we've really got to stop taking clients on ourselves, because a lot of fulfillment. We have 2 team members. We probably have a PA in here by now also that might be handling smaller tasks. That's just going to depend on the creator. So let's say we have max 3 people. Yeah, a personal assistant.
Oh, personal. Okay. Yeah.
Or if we have a DAO community, we'll have somebody who's in the community as like the client success person who's like constantly hyping the community up. So now, our profit margins have gone from like, or profit of revenue has gone to from about 100 to 75, right? Because that first coach, we want to get them insanely high buy-in and make sure they're very well taken care of. We also want that person to be a leader who can be self-autonomous, because if you're just getting texted all day by your team and you're outsourcing stuff, you're not actually outsourcing anything. So, training comes down, people need to be able to take initiative, so on and so forth. Now 40K. At 40K, I need you to really put on the marketer cap. Because now we need to go from 40K. From 40 to 50 is not a huge jump. From 40 to 60, pretty sizable jump. But we're looking at how fast we go 40 to 80.
But like 40K, like things are working. Like
Things are
let's like
working.
pause for a second. Like
Yeah.
40K is like 500 grand a
Yep.
year. And
You
I
have
just
full
like that.
financial freedom.
Yeah, I like to just emphasize because I personally think the online space has disillusioned people to like 500K is good. That's a good
Just a lot
business.
of,
Like that's
you can live
good
anywhere.
money. At 500K, if you're at 50% profits, that's 250K coming back to you. And yeah, you'll pay taxes on that or whatever. So you're not like spending 250K, but like that's good money. That's more than a lot of people with, college degrees at good companies, good positions. Like that's good money. I just think people need to hear that more. I
Yeah,
don't
yeah,
know.
you're
I
right.
don't know
I'm
what
glad
you
you made
think.
that point. I'm
Like
glad you made that point. I mean that's more than a lot of surgeons make. That's more than a
right,
lot of
yeah.
people make.
Exactly. I think people just need to hear that more because I
Yeah,
think they hear online numbers and they get disillusioned by like what is actually good and then they just get anxiety and they make decisions around like cool, like having $1 million business is going to be great, but like you've only been doing it for 3 years. You know what I mean? Like they don't
yeah,
realize how long it takes and the sacrifices that some people make to get to these level of businesses and understanding that like, hey, 500K is really good. Like 40K months
absolutely.
are good. So let's keep going on that. I just wanted to kind of pause and let everyone listen and know like,
Yeah, yeah. I'm glad you said that. I talk about money a little bit loosely, just because it's
what's
the
possible.
conversation we have
Like
all day.
if
Yeah,
for you, like you're like as a business coach, you're visionary, you know what's possible. You've seen the numbers people and yourself have hit. I come in from like a hey, let's like be more realistic, pump the
yeah,
brakes. Let's look at the average, not like the outliers. You know what I
yeah.
mean?
And also at 40K, if your business structure is set up well, then you have full financial freedom and you have a lot of time freedom here right now, also, as long as you've delegated appropriately.
Mm-hmm.
So now we're trying to figure we have such a strong personal brand that it makes $40,000 per month. You have a strong enough personal brand and not really handle any of the fulfillment yourself, but you're going to show up in the community and do weekly live calls. You're going to be a force in the community. And that's exactly what I do. I do no one-to-one fulfillment myself. Outside, I have 6 DFY operators that I work with, where my team is literally just building it all for them. So outside those 6, I'll do any one-to-one time. But I show up and do 2 hour and a half, 2 hour long live calls on educating, teaching, answering questions in the community every single week. Right. So 40K a month, you can stay there forever and you can be really, really good. Like even with inflation going up all the time, 40K a month, you got a buffer. You really do. Now, you want to go from
As long
40,
as you're not
we
spending
like,
40K.
as long as you're not spending 40K, which I did. Yeah. My first 5 years, we did over $1 million in rev. I had no money. To your
Yeah.
point about profit, like I
Unfortunately,
had
it's a story I hear
zero
fairly
money.
often. Yeah.
But, we never get taught how to use money. We never get taught how to leverage money.
Dude, I literally, so I was just editing a YouTube video before we hopped on because, yes, I still edit my own videos because I'm that type of person.
I love
But
it.
I literally use the wording like you're being taught how to manage money wrong. Like,
Yeah.
because you're
Yep.
right. Like, one, it's not taught in school. So, like, coming up in school, you're not taught how to manage money. But then you're definitely not taught how to manage money as an entrepreneur or business
Yep.
owner. Like, that's because that's different than just like, oh, I make $120,000 at a W-2 position. They're going to take taxes from me. And I know I get like, X amount of dollars in my bank every month. And I just got to pay my bills and make sure, I'm saving and investing, but make sure there's no money. Like, I'm not in the negative at the end of the month. Like,
Mhm.
that's one thing. You then go start a business and it's like, oh, I got to make, I got to set aside money to pay taxes. I got to make
Mhm.
quarterly estimates. What is a self-employment tax? What's an S corp? Like bookkeeping, like QuickBooks? Like, I don't know what this is. Like, it's
Yeah.
a whole nother ball game.
Mhm.
And it's not as intimidating as people make it out to be, but like you have to learn it.
You have to learn.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
what I'm
you have
trying
to
to do.
learn. So now we've pretty much delegated. We've delegated a lot of things at 40K, and that makes you the marketer. That makes you an actual operator of a company. And at that point, I mean, really, how much content can you get out? How many guest appearances on people's platforms can you get? How like we across all of our social media channels right now, we're going to do 1,000 pieces of content per month. But I have a team. I have a team doing that. So I like in that 40 to 60K range, how do we get team members involved? But
Mm-hmm.
also, we just got you to 40K organic. Now it's time for some ad spend.
Oh,
And
okay.
man,
So you're not even kicking that in. Cool. Okay.
yeah, we don't really kick that into a 40K. We have some people who are very promising that have grown to like 20 or 25 super fast that are ready to invest, hire the people that have systems in place. We handle a lot of stuff for them. Like next week, we're gonna start doing all the sales calls for our operators. So you don't really have to have your own sales team. My sales team is going to do it for them. Like dude, we're kind of making it so that you just post content. We actually have done for you content launching in 2 weeks also. So like for our operators, we've kind of turned into an agency.
Yeah, I was thinking that.
We're very much so an agency. Like obviously we take percentage of that, but it's like for the sales, right? We're going to do, we close a deal. We're going to take 22% of that deal as 10% to the closer. You're not paying any salary to any salesperson. And we're handling all of the sales KPIs, call reviews, sales presentation, build outs, everything for you. Like, man, that's worth the,
You're not having to train a setter or a
you're not having to do
salesperson.
anything.
Like, yeah.
So now we want to scale the omnipresence on social media. And now we're getting leads from here. We're getting leads from there. We're getting leads from all these places. And at this mark, you're at 40K organic. A lot of people respect the value that you have. So now we really ramp up the community. We put a lot of resources in. We put little courses in. And what we're seeing with these people is you're at 40K a month because you're really skilled. You have a gigantic skill set. So now we can scale this skill set outside of just coaches. And you can have like mini mentorship inside of your community that now is a new offering that other people can come and learn your sauce from. That's exactly what I did for ECA. And, now we've blown up and we've blown up very quickly. And so now we enhance the offering. We add another offer. And as long as the operators align with that. And we take sales in-house. And I mean, now like the sky's the limit. And, Justin, something I chat about to your point earlier about money. A lot of people get to that 30, 40K mark and they're like, hey, like I'm good here. Let's settle. And dude, I respect that. Like that's awesome. Team is light, profits
Super
are high.
Important to highlight. Like the decision to scale is not a light one. Like it's not the lifestyle for everyone.
No. And I mean, there's a lot of work that, Monday and Tuesday, today's Tuesday, Monday and Tuesday are like, these are my huge work days. I overwhelm myself on Monday and Tuesday, but then like the rest of the week is super light. And so the rest of the week in my schedule, I get to just be involved in the community and give back to people. I get to make content. Mm-hmm. I get to grow and expand my brain. I listen to so many podcasts, so many YouTubes, and I get to have that time to intentionally learn because team is in place. But you can start doing this way before where we're at. I think around 30, 40K. 40K, you're definitely out of the mud a little bit as long as the scaling has gone appropriately. But the number one way to constantly improve the value that you have, the number one way to scale is by constantly learning new ways to think about things, new skills. And this isn't just physiology or biology based. This is, the money, the financial piece. This is how do you manage a team? Exercises to your team. What KPIs are important? What KPIs aren't important? So on and so forth. So if you're constantly adding value, it's Wilson's law. Anytime you learn something new, you add value to society and society pays you back with the new value that you've accrued. But, life rewards speed. And if life rewards speed and we learn value at a faster rate than everyone else, and we deliver that value quickly to our community, dialed to our avatar, you are going to make more money. My thought, at least.
It's a good place to wrap. We're hitting the time. So if you want to go beyond 50K a month, you're just gonna have to go follow Justin. So let people know where they can find you, learn more. Where's the best place to follow you?
Yeah, on every social media platform, just look up Justin Mihaly. Last name is Mihaly. And shoot me a message if you loved the podcast. We have a lot of podcasts on my page coming out that might build upon this. But Justin, man, thank you so much for having me. You ask amazing questions. So I would love to come on and add value whenever I can.
I appreciate that, man. Thank you so much. It was great having you on. A great conversation. We could have kept going. I'm being respectful of your time.
I appreciate
and that's why I'm capping it. But we could have kept going for hours. So I appreciate you, man.
Absolutely. Until next time.